Right. I assume everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. A very good afternoon to all parents who are still waiting here. I understand that some of the form teacher session would have started. It doesn't matter if you miss this session. There's still another one later on. All right. Like I said, welcome. Thank you for taking time off from your busy schedule to touch base with us in this engagement session. Your presence here demonstrates to us in a very concrete way your support for your child, and for that, as a school, we are very grateful. Last year, when we spoke to parents, we touched on the changing national landscape with regards to education. There is a deliberate shift and recalibration in focus as far as the overemphasis on results and grades is concerned. We talked about learning for life and bringing back the joy in learning. Nothing has changed. But then, as we all know, COVID-19 hit us hard, and everybody else everywhere. This virus respects no borders, no gender, no race, no age. Not since World War II have so many countries have their school went into lockdown. By the end of April 2020 last year, no less than 185 countries closed their schools, affecting 90% of their world students. The speed in which the school closed and the workplace closure caught everybody off guard, and everyone was scrambling to find alternatives. For many countries, experts warn and declare that we may have a lost generation in our hand. They said millions of students could be forced to play catch up, their learning severely stunted. Fortunately for us in Singapore, after our initial circuit breaker period and after a short period of full home-based learning, we put processes in place and our school have since stayed open. As a school, as a country, we will avert a lost generation in Singapore. For us as a nation, we scrambled to get our lessons up online and deliver it to our children. Thankfully, with the good infrastructure that we already had, with the support mechanism already in place, our students were able to hop on to e-learning very fast. Already, our student learning space, SLS, was up and running pre-COVID. Our teachers, people like us, took to various platforms, Google Classroom and so on, and while some of us scrambled to get it up, there are others who are younger ones, the digital natives, they took to it very fast, and we help out each other, and whatever it is, we get the job done. Lessons were not terribly disrupted, and we were able to continue to deliver lessons to our children. For some of us, even you as an adult, the learning to going to working from home, handling new technology, the learning curve is steep, but we did it. So while the pandemic brings about some doom and gloom, it also reveals new tech opportunities. Technology stepped in to bridge the gap between teaching, learning, and school closures. Minister Lawrence Wong himself said that there is tremendous potential leveraging on technology for education, and the ministry did not just have a renewed interest in using technology. The ministry is introducing blended learning into secondary school sometime this year. It is a mix of home-based and in-school activities that taps both online and offline approach to learning. The intent is to further develop our children's ability to be self-directed, passionate, lifelong learners. In Admiralty Primary, we are introducing Learning with Technology, or LWT, to our students. Mr. Peck touched on this earlier. Let me elaborate a little bit. For a start, let's play a very short video. All right. Let me just get it going.
Roughly 1.5 billion people are currently in an education system
that is preparing them for the jobs of yesterday by teaching the curriculum of 100 years ago. All around the world, every country is funding a public education system, teaching courses that were designed last century or even 2 centuries ago. And those courses didn't imagine the future that we're about to enter. And when we think about that, think about how can we improve school, and what they think about is how do we use technology in the classroom, but to still teach the same stuff that they learned when they were young.
The kind of things that are easiest to teach and maybe easiest to test have also become easiest to digitize, to automate. The world simply no longer rewards people just for what they know. Google knows everything. It rewards people for what they can do with what they know. State-of-the-art knowledge, of course, is always going to remain somewhat important. Success in education is no longer just about reproducing knowledge. It's about extrapolating from what we know, applying our knowledge creatively in novel setting. In fact, I think the report from the WEF captures those things really, really well. It's about, can you think like a scientist rather than, do you know a specific formula and equation? The social and emotional skills are becoming so much more important. I mean, these are the ones that complement the artificial intelligence that we've created in our computers actually best, and we're weakest in developing them. So education is no longer, should no longer be just about teaching people some things, but about providing them with a kind of reliable compass and the navigation tools to find their own way.
And if I'm not wrong, if you
Okay, if you look at the video, I think according to the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report, 50% of all employees will need reskilling by 2025. That's how fast our knowledge become obsolete. As adoption of technology increases, all the more we need to be reskilled. Critical thinking and problem solving top the list of skills that employers believe will grow in prominence in the next 5 years. Newly emerging skills that employers value are skills in self-management, such as active learning, resilience, stress tolerance, and flexibility. But the very technological disruption that is transforming jobs can also provide the key to creating them and help us learn new skills. Our children have not seen a world without technology. If you think about them, they were unlike us. They cannot imagine a world without the internet, without their Instagrams, without their Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube. Like we heard by now, Google is their source of knowledge. In a world where knowledge is just a mouse click away, we have to rethink our traditional notion of teaching and learning. 65% of our children will enter the workforce working in jobs that do not even exist as of now. To prepare them for such a future, our students need to acquire deep skills. In this ever-changing global environment, our children require resilience and adaptability, skills that are proving to be essential to navigate effectively. Right now, we are seeing through this pandemic. Teaching our students to be creative, to communicate effectively, and working in collaboration with others, teaching them to be flexible and adaptable, to cultivate a culture of questioning the norms and continue to think of new ways of doing things, keeping up to date with technology and leveraging on them. All these become key traits that we want to see in our students. And that all this will be paramount to the success. If you look at this here, this is what we as a school would like to see. We want to we hope that our children will be able to achieve this, have manifest all this, all right? Besides just being book smart and being able to learn and do an exam, to be able to be prepared for the future, they need all this. So we look at here, the thinking skills, all right? It's not just absorbing knowledge, but rather what you do with it. Social skills, all right? They need to be able to work in a team, collaborate with people, communication skills, they need to be confident, they need to be articulate, they need to handle themselves well, things like that, and all the rest. Okay, the management skills, research skills. There are a lot of information out there, but how you process your information, how you look at the data there, how you apply them, all these are important skills. The notion of a teacher as the knowledge holder who imparts wisdom to the student is no longer fit for the purpose of a 21st century education. With students being able to gain access to knowledge through just a few clicks of their phones, tablets, and computers, teaching and learning must change. So gone are the days whereby students are just passive listeners, memorizing facts and regurgitating them when the teachers ask them or when the teacher tests them. Okay, so this is how LWT will look like, at least in our school. Learning with technology will be a mix of in-school and home-based activity. We need a parent to work with us. We need to encourage your child to take charge of their own learning, make use of the digital tools to facilitate self-directed and independent learning. And when they encounter roadblocks, encourage them to seek help from the right sources. So here, when we embark on this, for a start, Mr. Pei has given you the days and the date. We will let you know again when the time comes. But basically, the teacher will design some activities for them, whereby we probably would have some in-school discussion and lesson before we assign to them to be done, completed online. So something like this, you will look probably as now. Okay, let's plan for the primary 5. This is currently what we plan, and we might change, but just to give you an idea. All right, so for when we come to learning with technology, say at primary 5 English, but the task is public speaking. Is here public speaking is not is it in the primary school syllabus? But then we are not so fixated with that anymore. Public speaking is an important skill, and we need to teach that. And so we will design an activity for your child, whereby part of it will be online and part of it will be offline. So while we are learning with technology, we are also mindful with the things like the screen time and so on. So we will control the amount of time that they are online. Okay. And so this is for primary 5. Just an example, take a look at primary 6. Okay. Similarly, it will be something like that. Okay, like I said, it's a mixture of in-school, online and offline learning. Okay. Right, that one is to give you a broad overview. This will give you a little bit more detail, so you can see that we are very intentional in what we want to do. It is not just a matter of putting content online and then the children go in there, put a few mouse click, choose a few answers there, answer the question, then okay, fine, we are done with our learning with technology. It's not like that. Okay, so if you look at it, there are delivered plans with very specific objectives that we want to achieve, things that we want to see. When we advocate greater use of technology in our classroom, we are not saying that technology can replace human interaction, because ultimately teaching and learning still remain a social and relational process. We seek to equip our children instead with the necessary skills, both the technical know-how as well as the soft skills, in order to do better in school, to do better in life, and ultimately to apply them in their workplace. Our children will not become the lost generation, right? They will become the resilient generation. So let's equip them with the skills to face a very uncertain future. Learning with technology is future-proof. We welcome your feedback once we roll LWT out to your children. And once your children start embarking on this LWT journey, do give us your feedback, and then we will work on it take it into consideration and improve it on this program as we move along. All right, I suppose moving on, some of you, quite a number of you probably are still interested in this. As Mr. Pig was talking, I was looking at the chat. I think many of you are still very concerned about the academic performance of the child, what is our school academic PSLE score, and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, while we do want to move away from this overemphasis on grades and results, but we understand that there's still a place for it, and it is still important. We are not dumbing down. We are not going to lessen the rigor. The demands will still be there. So this is what we want. WA means weighted assessment. For term 1, as far as possible, we ease off. And for mid-year, we do away with the mid-year exam. What we have are just bite-sized weighted assessment. So this is the breakdown, if you are interested to take a look. For primary 6s, because of the fact that they are sitting for the coming exam, well, we are still quite a little bit focused on getting them ready for the PSLE. So this is how you apply it. Okay. So that is a assessment. Weighted assessment means it will be counted, all right, towards the year-end scoring for the results for the performance. Okay. At this point, I thought that it would be good for me to let you know that we do see our parents as our partner. We hope that you can work with our teachers. If you do see something that is not too, in your opinion, is not working, or your child is not too comfortable with certain things, do let us know. But seek to clarify first. I think sometimes a phone call or email to us, or a face-to-face meeting or online meeting with us can clarify a lot of things. So I'm saying let's not jump the gun. We will be prepared to engage you should you have any feedback or concerns that you have. All right. But I think from because you can see just now from the series of slides that I showed you, our children really need to learn to be more self-directed, independent. So you got to let them learn to be accountable, to take charge of his or her own learning. I just took over a primary 5 class this year, and one of the child come to me and said, "Mr. Lim, my parent would like you to write down for me in my parent-pupil companion what are the homework to be done." And I told the child, well, I told the class what is the homework. It's written down here. The pupil companion is there. I'm sure you can write one home. You do not need me to write for you. Okay. Now, maybe that was how it was done earlier in P1, P2, but certainly he has to outgrow all this. So at one point or another, we need to let go, and they need to be a little bit more accountable for their own learning. Right? Do monitor your child. And the next point, the excessive homework, tuition homework, well, this one came about from feedback from teachers and feedback from children themselves. Most of us, when we take over a new class, we ask our children, tell us a little bit about you, write to us about you, and things like that. And quite a number of cases, the children tell us when they write to us, sometimes confidentially, we are very stressed. We have a lot of homework. We have a lot of tuition homework, religious class homework, and so on. And we can't cope. And it's across the whole spectrum. It's not just, say, the high ability class or the low middle ability class, even as low as the low ability. Generally, that is the feeling that some of our children have. So I say, really, is there, while we want, I mean, you as parents, you know your child better. You know how much you can push them. But at the same time, I think we also need to understand that there must be a balance. There are some children who are so fixated with the tuition homework, or they come to class and say, I already learned everything. My tutor has already taught everything. I don't need to listen to you, Or the homework, the tutor and the mother, between the parent and the tutor and the child, they have already completed all the workbook. And so when the lessons are going on in class, he is bored. She is bored. I think that is not too healthy, right? Now, encourage a love for reading. I think this is important because I always tell our children, reading is how we feed our mind. What we feed our mind is important, and somehow that love for reading has been removed, and they are not more so fixated with their gadgets and so on. But I think we as parents, as teachers, we should encourage them to really genuinely read. Every morning we tell them bring a book to school, English book and mother tongue book on Thursday and Friday, and generally enjoy the book. But sometimes we do know that children bring it just to, just to show us that they're reading, but actually whether they are reading or not. But I think we need to communicate with children, and as parents, you can encourage them that reading is important because that is how to widen their knowledge as far as what's keeping current, what's happening around us. Okay. Now, before I go back to this slide, is there any question you want to ask me before I go back to the next slide on the care corner? Anything you want to ask, urgently want to clarify with me? I have a slide. Okay, I think I missed out this one. Okay, so sorry about this. I was wondering why I did it. Okay, this one just now is very importantly while Mr. Page talking to the school. We noticed that a lot of parents are asking about the PSLE scoring, especially also the DSA talk. And very important, some of you expressed that hey, actually we do not know very much about DSA talk and how do we go about it and so on. So do not miss this opportunity. On 5th February, we will engage you in the briefing. Mr. Pig will then go through what the scheme all about, what's the rationale, the intent, and will how to go about it. Okay, so as far as our new PSLE scoring, also the same. It will be meant for all P5 and P6 parents. This is something new. So when it's something new, people are maybe a little bit apprehensive. So it'll be good to attend. And if you're not able to attend, we will probably record that meeting, and we'll probably put it in our school YouTube channel or something where you can access, or somewhere we can access. So that is coming up. Now, another one that some parents from primary 6 classes will be wondering, okay, when will the usual extra lessons start? We will start this from 17th February. In this school, we call it the structured lesson. So that one will come in, all right? As far as holiday lessons and so on, we will do it if it's necessary. And if we do conduct it, we will let you know in advance, all right? Now, at the same time, we also want to encourage our children to be able to study independently. So we will open the study room from 18th February in the afternoon after school. At the moment, the plan is to open it from 2:30 to 5 o'clock. So whereby the children can report to the study room, sit down, just do their work, reflect on what the day lesson have been, try to internalize what has been taught. If they have some doubts, they can clarify with the teacher, which will be me. I'll be in the study room. And then we can help them. Sometimes they just need a little bit of prompt, it's just a little bit of hint, and they'll get it and they'll move on. So we can immediately address their doubts there. So this is something which we will do, and we'll try on every Thursday and Friday. Okay. Once I will send out more details to you through the PG, explain in detail why we want to do this. But I think the ability to sit down and study for a sustained period of time is important. It will not be more of a teacher talking all the time. That one has we do that, but I think there's also a time for children to just quietly study and reflect on what they have learned. Okay, so that one is for 18th February. Onwards will start. Okay, so yeah, this is the last part where the care corner is they would like to let you know what are some of the programs that they can do to support parents who think that they want some extra help in parenting. The Care Corner are willing, it's free, they are willing to step in. Okay, so I will let you play this video and then you watch, see what they have to offer for you.
Hi parents, this presentation is brought to you by Care Corner Parenting Support Services. Care Corner Singapore is a social service agency that has served the communities and families for almost 40 years. We have been appointed by the Ministry of Social and Family Development, MSF, since 2019 to support parents in the schools in Woodlands and Sembawang regions. Do these situations look familiar to you? Excessive use of phone or other devices, not doing homework, being disobedient or disrespectful, throwing temper tantrum or other emotional issues. These are all the common parenting issues that parents often share with us. Indeed, parenting is joyful and yet challenging at times. This is a non-exhaustive list of issues that we have commonly seen. Let me ask the question, how do we learn how to parent our child during their growing years? Many times, we have learned how to do so through learning or hearing from our own parents. We may also try out different methods to see what works along the way. Parenting doesn't have a manual and has always been a skill that has been taught.
Okay, sorry, let me pause here for a moment. I think we are running a bit late and some of you, we may want to go and meet up with your form teacher. So if you really want to have a look at this video, we will put it up on our website. So maybe I can pause here and probably stop here, and then you can move on to meet up with your form teacher if that's okay with you. All right. Let me just fast forward to here. Care Corner. They do. We will make this video available on the website or whichever we post to this program. All right. I think I should stop here and you can break up to meet up with your form teacher. Thank you so much.
Developmental phase better and the root cause.
Sorry, it's a bit abrupt, but well, we do have a. I'm sure you want to meet up with your form teacher, so I think we can exit here.